Good morning. I'm Barb Humphrey. Gordon and I have been involved at Robert McClure since 1982. We had adopted 7-year-old twins when we had only been married for a year, and we were so young. We needed all the help we could get. I found that support at Central United, where I was attending when Debbie and Tony came to live with us. But I wanted a more active children's program for them, so that's when we made the decision to search for a new church. We found Robert McClure. It was convenient because we lived in Falconridge, but that isn't what drew us to the church. It was strange to worship in the gym of a school, but like I often say, the church is not the building, but church is the people. The church was like a magnet. It connected us through faith, worship, and people. Our congregation grew beyond the walls of the school, and in 1989, we held our first worship service in our own unfinished building. My most precious memory is when we all, from the littlest to the oldest person, painted the cross that is on the church building steeple. Everyone was connected through that amazing experience. Gordon and I were asked to share why we give to Robert McClure. The very simple answer is that we give because of you, our church family. Our lives wouldn't be what they are today without each and every one of you. You have been there through all our trials, joys, grief, happiness, and hope. Our hearts are filled with gratitude. Growing up, we were both taught to be kind to others, work hard, be polite, don't complain, and give generously. Our parents taught us that everyone is welcomed, which is what Robert McClure is about. We are an affirming ministry where we strive to be fully inclusive of all people. You belong because you are. All are welcomed in this place. It is our calling to live justly, love tenderly, and walk humbly with God. During the COVID pandemic, it has been very difficult to have hope, but we continued as much as we could to volunteer. Gord loves his music and runs the soundboard during recordings and is one of the people who helps with the upkeep of the church building. I give of my time in many ways, but those have changed during the pandemic. You often hear Kelly say, "What's next, Barb?" during worship. I'm in the background doing all the technical stuff. I'm part of the group that brings a worship experience to you. It's been a struggle during the pandemic. How do we keep people connected? We want to be in the building, but we also want to make sure that we are looking after the well-being of each other. I also volunteer on other committees too. People ask me, when do I sleep? I say, thank goodness I'm like my mom Dolores and that I don't need a lot of sleep. We give money to Robert McClure to pay for the heat, electricity, and salaries, but we also give to share our vision, which is intentionally creating space where the Holy Spirit sets our hearts ablaze and bursts out. Our church bursts out into the community with our food pantry and all the volunteers that help with that ministry. And we reach out beyond our church walls by worshiping online, which has been a blessing during the pandemic. Giving is an act of kindness. We give from our hearts with hope and gratitude. We know there is a time to give and a time to receive. Our time right now is to give. The Christian tradition asks that you give 10% of your earnings away to something that is not about your own happiness. At Christmas time, instead of giving presents, we asked our nieces and nephews to discuss with their own families what was important to them. Where did they want a donation to be made in their names instead of receiving a gift they probably didn't need or even want? They said it was amazing to discuss the true meaning of Christmas. We made donations to the Rescue Dog Shelter in Tabor, Calgary Autism, Hope Mission, Broadview Magazine, which is a United Church of Canada magazine, and even to our own Share the Light Christmas tree at Robert McClure. But our biggest donation is to the general fund of the church. In 2021, we gave almost $19,000 to the church. We gave to the church and other organizations because we are fortunate enough to be able to give. That amount that we gave to the church not only includes our weekly offering, it includes things that we purchase for the church, like communion and worship supplies, live streaming programs, motion lights, among other things. I encourage you to remember the words of Jesus in Luke. Jesus looked up and saw the rich people putting their offerings into the temple treasure. And then he noticed a poor widow putting in 2 copper coins. At that, he said, "The truth is, this woman has put in more than all the rest. They made contributions out of their surplus, but she, from her want, has given what she couldn't afford, every penny she had to live on." We believe that all gifts are given from the heart, no matter the amount. We both pray that we can continue to give from our hearts with time and treasure. But we also hope that our church continues to be a church with a big heart, and that we share the good news in our community through our ministries. We are on a hopeful journey that never ends. Share the good news. Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed.